QueerWorks CEO faces 53 felony charges for alleged misuse of funds in Palm Springs. The CEO of QueerWorks, an LGBTQ support organization in Palm Springs, California, is facing serious legal troubles. Jacob Rostovsky, the group's founder and leader, has been indicted on 53 felony counts, including grand theft, misappropriation of public funds, insurance fraud, perjury, and money laundering. The Riverside County District Attorney's Office revealed the indictment, with Rostovsky pleading not guilty and posting a $944,000 bail. Rostovsky launched QueerWorks to support transgender and nonbinary residents in the Palm Springs area through mental health services and other community initiatives. However, DA Mike Hestrin's office alleges that funds meant to develop a universal basic income program for 180 participants were misappropriated, with over $840,000 directed to Rostovsky's personal account. Some of these funds, reportedly used for Disney and luxury purchases, were intended for housing aid and monthly stipends, primarily for trans residents. Additionally, Rostovsky is accused of filing a false insurance claim, impersonating a QueerWorks client to secure $90,000, and then laundering the money. The Palm Springs city government has voiced strong support for the DA's investigation, saying, quote, "We're deeply concerned by these charges, particularly the misuse of taxpayer dollars," end quote. They have since implemented stricter oversight measures, such as independent audits and mandatory reporting for grantees, to prevent future misuse of funds. Meanwhile, California's Department of Public Health has awarded QueerWorks a $500,000 grant for gender-affirming care, but suspended funding this summer, stating that initial disbursements appear unaffected by the alleged misuse. Ooh, you got to use the word allegedly a lot in this story, but there do seem to be a lot of traceable stuff going on. I would also, though, just want to focus a bit on how this all came to light, because I think it is a really good example for queer people out there that really all this came to light from an employee who came forward, somebody who's still unnamed out there in the press, but who was looking out for, I think, the true intention of that organization's mission being fulfilled. So I don't know who that was, but I think that was a very brave and honorable thing that they did to report the alleged misuse of funds.
I think it speaks to who do you have as your board, and it speaks where's your checks and balances. We have a lot of nonprofit organizations out there who are trying to start out and they're new, and they need to have a strong team to help them to make sure that if, I can understand if there's a mistake made, but this allegedly seems to be a lot larger and over a longer period of time. But in the same respect, it's like if there was that strong, it's like, are they being held accountable too? Because I would think there has to be a checks and balance in some way.
That's a good question, rather than those coming from outside, like they have to now.
Right.
That's a very good question. What really itches my funny bone here is the alleged stealing or laundering from housing. We talk about trans housing, we talk about LGBTQ housing, we talk about housing for Americans, period, which is a crisis in America. Housing is a crisis, which lends itself to a mental health crisis that we have in America. And to lay the framework and foundation that is the work that you are to do, and to not execute it, allegedly, it's heartbreaking, because I know so many good work, groundwork, grassroots folks who are trying to do this work with just a quarter or 10% of what the funding was here, and they have to fight tooth and nail and straw to do the work that they need to do. And so this is completely heartbreaking for me if it happened. This is alleged.
The word is alleged.
Alleged.